Hey, what's up guys, CKid here, and yesterday Google hosted their event in New York where there was a bunch of influencers and other people of the media that were invited to reveal their latest flagship models, the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL, among other hardware. Now, they must have personally misplaced my invitation in the mail, but that's okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But next year, Google guys, we got to change that, man. Send your boy out the invitation. I rock with y'all too. Check out my Google Home videos as well as my Google Home Mini video. I keep showing you guys some love, so let's show it right back. So let's get right into my thoughts about the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL. Now, if you guys are interested in my thoughts about some of the other products that they mentioned, like for example, the Google Hub or the Pixel Slate, and maybe some of the other products that they mentioned, don't worry guys, I will be doing separate videos on those as well as providing my opinions, so stay locked to the channel. All right, so where should we start? Real quick, let's actually talk about some of the different spec-wise between the two. Basically, it's size, front design, and battery life. Everything else is pretty much the same. The Pixel 3 has a 5.5-inch display, no notch, but thick bezels, and an internal battery of 2,915 milliamps, whereas the Pixel 3 XL is a 6.3-inch screen with somewhat edge-to-edge display, which we're going to get in later in this video, a very noticeable notch, and an internal battery of 3,430 milliamps. Now, both of these phones include glass backings now for allowing you guys to have wireless charging capabilities, both running the latest stock Android 9 Pie with Qualcomm Snapdragon 845, OLED displays with HDR support, and 4 gigs of RAM. And last, they come in 3 different colors, with this Just Black, Clearly White, and Not Pink. And I'm not lying, those are really the names of the colors of the phones. So some of the things that I like that they announced about the phone during this event, before we get into some of the things that I wish that they would have done better, starting with my favorite feature, call screen, that I think a lot of people out there didn't either really appreciate or understand how dope of a feature this really is. Essentially how this works is when you guys get one of those annoying random telemarketer phone calls that we all hate, the phone will give you guys the option to allow Google Assistant to answer that call and will screen your phone calls while transcribing the conversation through text on the screen live, and then give you guys the option to either hang up the call or answer the call if you see from the conversation that it's a legit call and you want to actually take it. Now, if you guys remember back in May of this year during Google's I/O event, they introduced and demoed this ability for Google Assistant to be able to talk to real people and really become the first assistant or AI to call restaurants, salons, dentist offices, among other places, to be able to book appointments for you guys without you ever having to pick up your phone. And honestly, I personally thought that we were maybe a year or two away from this type of innovation to become prevalent on our smartphones, but with call screen, this is a major step in the direction of AI to be able to hold conversations with real people. So this is exciting to see a company as innovative as Google to be able to bring this to the forefront so soon. Next was a feature that I like called Top Shot. Now, this one combined with the camera is a feature that auto detects things like blinking, frowning, or just photos in general where you guys may not be looking your best, and it will somehow, using machine learning, capture previous moments up to the time that you actually took the photo and allow you to pick the best moments from that photo series, as you can see on the example that I have here on the screen. Now, to me, this is a dope feature in case you are trying to capture those you got only one shot to get the perfect photo moment, because it gives you complete control over taking photos and puts the power of not missing those special moments because the shutter or your finger was just too slow. And the last thing before we actually get into some of the things that I wish that they would have improved upon or that I really didn't care for, this is a feature that I like called Shush Mode. Now, this is a feature that when you guys turn your phone over and lay it face down, it will automatically put your phone in a do not disturb mode and silence that phone. Now, it would have been nice that they would have taken this feature a step further, and when you're putting it down face down, it would have kind of put it into a resting mode, which would preserve that battery life. But either way, it's still a dope feature because it's something that I know we all use whether we're in a meeting or similar situations. All right, so now that we've gotten all of the nice things out of the way, let's talk about what I dislike about this phone and announcement, starting with the phone designs itself. Now, I understand that Google is one of the kings of software, and some of the things that they are actually able to accomplish with a single camera and on the phone is notably impressive. But with the Pixel 3, I'm not a huge fan of the thick bezels on it. Honestly, it felt a bit dated to me, especially as a person coming from a 4-year-old phone, the iPhone 6 Plus, which had thick bezels to the iPhone XS Max. And when you guys see the current flagship models of what Samsung and Apple are putting out, it makes you question why they didn't just go the Pixel 3 XL screen design route and just put that on a 5.5-inch display. didn't really understand that route. And speaking of not understanding, the major thing that I dislike about the Pixel 3 XL is I'm not sure why they didn't just go the full screen route instead of having that not so appealing chin at the bottom of the phone. It just seems to me like a missed opportunity to extend the display all the way down to give us users more screen display. The notch to me is a bit on the not so thin side, but it's something that I could easily look past and not a big deal to me, but just wish that they would have went the full screen display towards the bottom of the phone. Now, one thing that I didn't like and that I just thought was a bit of a stretch is a feature called night sight mode. For those that don't know, this feature lets you guys shoot in dark or low light conditions without the need for using a flash, or helping you remove that unnatural light flash that we typically see in our photos. Now, it essentially brightens the dark areas of a photo, but one thing that actually stuck out to me or in my mind while they were explaining this during the event is that if I'm taking a photo at 8:30 or 9:30 at night, I don't really want it to look like 12 noon with brightening the dark areas of the photo, instead of just being able to handle the low light with little distortion by just including a larger sensor. Now, this is something that I feel Apple did fairly well on the XS Max by including a larger sensor. Now, I'm not mad of them for not using or needing a flash, because I actually never use a flash on my current phone anyway. Now, I'm all for competition and understanding all of that, but I thought that it was a bit corny to show off the iPhone XS side by side with the Pixel 3, showcasing the difference of each phone taking photos in low light situations. I'm just a firm believer of, if your product is great, then go ahead and let that product be great and let the software speak for itself. And to me, there's just no need to misrepresent a company's camera or product to make it seem like your feature is dramatically better than the next. If it's a good product and good software, then the people, meaning you and I, we're gonna give it praise when it's earned. But it was actually pretty obvious that in that photo, the iPhone XS was completely underexposed. And as an iPhone XS and XS Max user, I can personally verify that the iPhone takes great low light photos and does not look that bad as they represent it in that event. But to me, that part was a bit of a stretch on Google's end, but I get it, it's competition, so it is what it is. Overall, guys, to me, the phone does have a lot of positives to it, but for me, design-wise, it's not what I was expecting or wanting to see, if that makes sense. Now, I would have liked a more all-screen approach, at least try to set yourself apart from other phone companies in this space. But one good thing is, since majority of these changes are software-driven, if you own a Pixel 2, then you will actually have access to a lot of these positives that I mentioned earlier in this video via a software update. So I'm not sure if a phone upgrade would be worth it if you are okay with not having wireless charging on your Pixel 2. So with all of that being said, it's a good phone, just not what I would personally rock on a daily basis at this time. But I do plan on getting one in the studio here and getting it on the channel for you guys to get some hands-on experience with it and test out these features. So if that is something that you guys are excited for and look forward to, then go ahead and hit that like button, as well as consider subscribing to the channel and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on that. Also, I'm running a giveaway right now in my previous video, so if you want to be a part of that and see how you guys can be entered, then I'll go ahead and include links in the description below to that video. Well, guys, that about wraps this up. That's all that I really have to talk about. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one, where we're going to be talking about the Google Hub as well as my thoughts on the Pixel Slate. Peace.